Hari.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
All of you. Yes, is my voice clear, sir?
Sorry?
Is my voice clear, sir?
Clear, clear, very clear.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. The session starts. Video. Video on. One video ఎంత వస్తుంది? Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Respected Principal Dr. V.V. Ramareddy, Professor M. Jaidev, Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, Sri B. Ramakrishna, Scientist G, Armored Design Development Group, Defense Metallurgical Research Laboratory, Sri M. Kalebu, Consultant, MSME Technology Center, alumni students, parents, HODs, faculty, students, good afternoon to all. This is Dr. A.V. Parankosam, convener of LINDI Innovation and Startup Policy, LISP. I'm the professor in Department of ECE, LINDI Institute of Engineering and Technology. The Ministry of Human Resources Development, MHRD, has framed a policy on innovation and startups for students and faculties of higher educational institutions. The name of that policy is National Innovation and Startup Policy, LISP. This NISP gives the detailed guidelines on various important points, including revenue sharing, mechanism for licensing, ownership of IP, equity sharing mechanism between institute and startups incubated at the institute. Suppose a student comes up with an idea, and the procedural steps to be followed by management, students, and faculty in higher educational institutions for how to turn that idea into a commercial product are clearly outlined in this NISP. The main objective of NISP is to ensure that the innovation and startup policies of all higher educational institutions in India are more or less identical. The higher education institutions do not have to follow this NISP policy exactly when framing their policies, but can frame their policies according to their strengths and weaknesses and by taking these NISP policy as a reference. In this regard, our institute, LINDI Institute of Engineering and Technology, has constituted a committee with 5 members. Dr. A.V. Parankosam, myself, Professor M. Jaidev, Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, IIMB, Sri B. Ramakrishna, Scientist G, Armored Design and Development Group, Defense Metallurgical Research Laboratory, Sri M. Kalebu, Consultant, MSME Technology Center, Dr. T. Vinod Kumar, S&H Department, to frame a LINDI Innovation and Startup Policy, LISP, for students and faculty. at institute level, which will look after the incubation, innovation, and entrepreneurship related activities. In this, for framing this, this LISP, the MHRD directed us to conduct a series of meetings to frame the innovation startup policy at institute level. In that series of meetings, this is the first meeting. In this first meeting, the brainstorming and identification of thrust areas is the main agenda. So before starting, discussing about this innovation in this meeting, let me brief about college and incubation innovation cell and entrepreneurial development cell in our college.
Yeah, faculty.
The Lindy Institute of Engineering and Technology (LIT) established in the year 2008 by a divine body of Sai Daman Educational Trust of Visakhapatnam. It is an autonomous institute with NBA accreditation and NAC and permanently affiliated to JNTU Kakinada. This institute offers 6 branches in EEE, ECE, CSSE, CSIT, and mechanical engineering. In addition to these UG course, this institute offers also MTech course in CSE, Computer Science and Engineering specialization, in ECE, Embedded Systems and VLSI Design specialization, in EEE, Power System and Control Automation, and in Mechanical Machine Design. In our institute, there are 2 different cells that are incubation and innovation cell IIC and entrepreneurship development cell EDC, which are related to this LISP, ND Innovation Startup Policy. Now, I will just see what are the achievements by this IIC cell and EDC cell in a brief. The IIC team encourages and trains the student to participate in various competitions. In this regard, our students have won many prizes. Students have participated in a final round in some competitions. For example, in 2020-21, one team is selected for final round of AICT Chhatra Vishwakarma Awards. In the same AICT Chhatra Vishwakarma Awards in 1920, 4 teams are selected for final round at state level, and 1 team is selected at national level. And coming to the Dr. Kalam and Innovation Festival Agriculture Rural Development Competition, in that competition in 1920, 6 teams have won the prize of 80,000 rupees. And our students from our college continuously participate in various competitions, just like that. In 1920, 1 team selected in Smart India Hackathon, and in 1819, 1 team of CSC has got 1 lakh prize money and internship also in that Smart India Hackathon. In 1718, 1 team got 3rd prize of 50,000 rupees in AP Electrothon conducted by AP. Now coming to the Internship and Development Cell, this EDC cell conducts various programs to create awareness on entrepreneurship among the students. In that regard, especially for girl students, She Built Tech conducted by the AP STEP. And in addition to that, that EDC cell has conducted a workshop which is organized on a topic intellectual property in university and R&D institutions. And in addition to that workshop, a career guidance program is also conducted on career in management sector. From our college, some students have established some enterprises. For example, Mr. A. Sai Kumar from EEE Department Services and Mr. R. Bond Teza, Mr. R. Harish Naidu from EC Department started NGA Tech Solutions. Similarly, KL Sai Bharat has initiated training and development startup B Pro. Coming to the patents, in EEE department, 8 patents have been published. In VCE, 15 patents have been published, and CSE, 5 patents are published, and mechanical, 1 patent is published. Now coming to the Lindy Innovation Startup. A request to the other participants, please mute yourself. Some disturbance is here. The main intention of creating this, framing this Lindy innovation and startup policy is to set up, promote innovation and entrepreneurship among the faculty and staff, students, and this policy has to give a facilitation regarding ownership management, technology licensing, and institutional startup policies. And this may be periodically reviewed and modified according to the requirements. Here, we just written a vision and mission statements and request all the participating members of this meeting. If there are any suggestions, you please give us the suggestions to moderate. The vision statement is modified such that we need to create an environment for faculty, staff, and students such that the ideas of their the ideas of the students or faculty or staff has to be converted into startup. That is the vision statement. And the mission statement, we need to create an environment, ecosystem environment that fosters support, innovation, and knowledge-based entrepreneurship among the faculty, staff, and students to transform knowledge into creation of wealth and social value through successful venture. These are the vision and mission statements. I request all the participants to give the suggestions to modify if it is required. These are the main objectives of the this LISP policy. That means we need to create an awareness about the importance of entrepreneurship among the students. That should be the one objective. So once the student comes to the college, he will be concentrating on more on engineering subjects. So in engineering colleges, we in addition to that engineering subjects teaching, we need to create an awareness about entrepreneurship among students. And the another objective is that promote new technology or knowledge innovation based startups. Every time we need to promote whatever the new technology. And the third objective is that to promote design thinking process among the incubators and provide the platform for speedy commercialization of technology. And one more, another objective is that enhance domain knowledge or skills for developing innovative products or services. And finally, we need to build a vibrant startup ecosystem by establishing network between academia, financial institutes, industries, and other institutes, so that the student can collaborate with other industries persons or other faculty members in the other institutes or other financial institutes or other academic institutes, so that collaboration of work can be done. So these are the objectives of the LISP. Here we have identified some major domains so that the students can do startups or can do the projects in these major domains. I request all the participants or members of this meeting to suggest if any other domains are there, or if any domain is not required, you please give us suggestions. These are the different domains that we have identified: artificial intelligence and remote monitoring, cyber security, telecommunication, information communication technology, Internet of Things, solar photovoltaic systems, and design optimization. Electricity, new energy and environmental sustainability, energy conservation, energy efficient motors and equipments, electric mobility, education, manufacturing, automation, and engineering. Water, sanitation, and solid liquid waste management, waste heat recovery system, drone technology, agriculture. Now, today's the main agenda of meeting is that identification of first areas of this LISP, Lendi Innovation Startup also. Of course, these areas have been given by the NISP, National Innovation Startup Policy, by the MHRD. The main thing is that the main objective of National Innovation Startup Policy, NISP, is to frame the policies at higher education institutes. While framing the policies, we can take that NISP. I have forwarded this NISP policy to the respected members of this LSP before. These are the thrust areas that have been given in NISP. The thrust areas are the strategies and governance, and startups enabling institutional infrastructure, nurturing innovations and startups, product ownership rights and technologies developed at institute, organizational capacity, human resources, and incentives, and creating innovation pipeline pathways for entrepreneurs at institute level, norms for faculty startups, collaboration, co-creation, business relationships at knowledge exchange, entrepreneurial impact assessment. Now coming to the first thrust area, that is strategies and governance. Whenever we need to frame any policy, the main thing is that we have to create strategies. What strategies that we need to follow? What are the governance? What are the procedural steps? So coming to this first section, strategies and governance, that is the minimum of 1% fund of the total annual budget of the institute. At least a minimum of 1% fund of the total annual budget of the institute should be allocated to the towards this innovation fund. And this figure, this 1% has been given by the NISP, but there is no alternative to reduce this 1% also. It has been directly told in that campaign or training given by the NISP. That is one thing. And second, that in addition to this 1% fund of the total annual budget from the institute, that institute can also raise funding sources through government and through government also, that is state and center. For example, DST, MHRD, ACTE, like this. In addition to that, the government is the institute, that is Institute of Engineering Technology, can also approach private and corporate sectors also. Private and corporate sectors, the institute can approach to private and corporate sectors to generate the funds, especially for under the section of 135 of the Company Act 2013, that is corporate social responsibility. Under this act also, the institute can also raise the funds. In addition, the institute can also raise funds from the sponsorships, donations, or alumni network. Once strategical procedure steps have been established, and now that policy has to concentrate more on institutional infrastructure. Coming to this institutional infrastructure, the pre-incubation or incubation facility should be accessible at all times. Should be accessible to the all the students, faculty, staff. That is 24/7. And this pre-incubation facility should be managed by the IAC of LIT. If LIT indicates our institute name, Lindi Institute of Engineering and Technology. Now coming to the equity sharing in startups. So generally, when a student has an idea, he approaches to the IAC. Then IAC can mentor those students. So that will IAC will offer mentoring and other relevant services through pre-incubation or incubation process. So for that service, that IAC ask for equity sharing or zero payment basis. They can offer the that services without any payment or with sharing also. That depending upon the requirement service So now coming to the request Ravindranath to get this. Now coming to the nurturing innovations and startups, the LIT, that is our college, our institute, should provide an environment for UG, PG students, staff, faculty, and alumni of LIT, and potential startup applicants even from outside LIT also. So that is not only students, faculty, staff of LIT can start the startups in our institute. The applicants can be also from outside of this institute. All students of BTech and MTech have to register through LIT website or at our incubation center. So if a student want to register or he wants to utilize the facilities of incubation center at LIT, then he has to register through LIT website or he can approach to the incubation center. In return of the services and facilities, when incubation center at LIT offers services to the inventor, that is student, faculty, or staff, then LIT may take 2% to 9.5% equity or stake in the startup or company based on brand use or faculty contribution, support provided and use of institute's IPR. That is, if an institute offers services to the inventor, then when coming to the equity sharing mechanism, the institute may take from 2% to 9.5%. The maximum limit should be 9.5%, and this number is also given by the NISP, 2% to 9.5%. Now coming to the product ownership rights for technologies developed at institute. So once the student comes up with an idea and incubation center at LIT offers services such that that idea becomes a product. Now this fourth point gives details about who is the owner, who has the ownership rights for that product. Suppose LIT facilities or funds are used substantially by the inventor. Suppose an inventor uses LIT facilities or funds substantially, then that IPR is to be jointly owned by the inventors and the LIT. That ownership is shared between inventor as well as institute. Suppose if a product or IPR is developed by innovators not using any LIT facilities, suppose a faculty who is working in this institute, he has developed a product, but he has not utilizing any facilities of the LIT or outside office hours for staff and faculty especially are not as a part of a curriculum by a student, then product or IPR will be entirely owned by the inventors in proportion to the contribution made by them. In this case, inventors can decide to license the technology to third parties or use the technology the way they deem fit. If there is a dispute in ownership, if there is a dispute in ownership between inventor and LIT, then in order to resolve that problem dispute, a minimum 5-member committee consisting of 2 faculty members having developed sufficient IPR and translated to commercialization, and 2 of the institute's alumni or industry experts and 1 legal advisor can be formed, and they can resolve that dispute. Now coming to the organizational capacity, human resources and incentives. In this section, how human resources can be utilized. How effectively human resources of the institute can be effectively utilized. That details are given. For that, LIT IAC, that is Incubation Innovation Cell in LIT in our institute, should recruit staffs in IAC. That staff should have a strong innovation and entrepreneurial industrial experience. And the next point is that cross-departmental linkages. The faculty with one department can combine with other department, and they combinedly they do the projects. Combinedly they do the startups. Combinedly they come up with an idea, and combinedly they utilize the incubation innovation cell services or the facilities provided by the LIT. And in addition to this, some guest lectures should be conducted regularly, or alumni will be called, and the seminars from the alumni or seminars from the most famous entrepreneurs, industrial experts can be called and can be conducted as a seminars. And particularly in order to establish innovation, entrepreneurship culture among the students and faculty and staff, the faculty and staff particularly should be encouraged to do the courses on innovation and entrepreneurship, management and venture development. They can do the such courses just like in NPTEL or just like MOOCs courses. That courses should be related to the entrepreneurship. In order to motivate in order to encourage the faculty, students and staff to develop entrepreneurship and innovation culture, the reward system should be formulated by the institute. So that reward system may include sabbaticals, that may be leave may be assigned to the staff with or without any payment, or reduce teaching loads. If a faculty is doing some work towards entrepreneurship, the teaching load may be reduced and hours, and if it is required, trainings should be arranged in the institute, or faculty may be sent to the other institutes for getting training also. Now coming to the sixth thrust area, that is creating innovation pipeline and pathways for entrepreneurs. So how we create pathways so that if a student is joined in this engineering college as a student, then how can we arrange a pathway such that a student can come up with from student to the entrepreneur? So for that, we need to spread the awareness about the value of entrepreneurship. the institute should spread awareness about the value of entrepreneurship and its role in career development among the students and faculty and staff. And we need to develop entrepreneurial mindset among the students by exposing them to training in cognitive skills. So that the students can get an excellence in entrepreneurial activities. The we can develop entrepreneurial mindsets through experimental learning by exposing them to uh, training in cognitive skills, for example, design thinking, critical thinking, etc. Some initiatives also we need to initiate such that hackathons, workshops, boot camps, seminars, conferences, exhibitions, etc. So these should be encouraged. We need to encourage the students to participate uh, various competitions. We need to uh, encourage the students, faculty, staff regularly, or we need to organize the some competitions in the institute also, just like hackathons, workshops, boot camps, seminars, conferences, exhibitions, and mentoring by academic and industry personnel. Coming to the norms for faculty and startups. Uh, First of all, we see what is the role of faculty. Actually, when a faculty is joining as in engineering college, his maximum load is restricted to teaching. In addition to that, that role of faculty may vary from being a owner, a direct promoter, mentor, consultant, or on-board member. So, for example, a faculty holds the executive managerial position for more than 3 months in a startup, then they will go on a sabbatical leave without pay or utilize existing leave. Suppose any faculty in our institute becomes an executive or managerial position for more than 3 months, then he will be allotted as sabbatical leaves or with or without pay. And faculty startup may consist of faculty members alone or with students or with faculty of other institutes also. Suppose a faculty wants to do the establish the startup, he can establish the startup alone, or the faculty may join with students, or the faculty may join with other faculty of same institute or other institutes, or faculty may join with alumni also. Next, coming to the eighth thrust area of NSP is that collaboration, co-creation, business relationships, and knowledge exchange. So this, in this, mainly we need to concentrate on collaborated work. Suppose faculty wants to do the startup, he may tie up with other organizations are small, medium-sized enterprises, social enterprises, schools, alumni, professional bodies. So the faculty are encouraged to do the collaboration and partnership work. Now coming to the entrepreneurial impact assessment. The IAC in LIT will be responsible for assigning appropriate weightage to the parameters depending on the maturity of the process. For this, a separate document regarding this will be made available in the IAC and reviewed manually. So that IAC should have to should have a own document, own document for assigning the performance of the faculty, staff, or students. So to assess the performance of the students, faculty, or staff, a separate document should be available in the IAC. So the in order to assess the performance of students, faculty, and staff. Um, so many parameters are there. Here I just mentioned some parameters. That parameters are how many awareness programs a particular student has attended, how many micro degree certification programs a particular faculty has, how many workshops have been participated by the particular faculty, how many training programs he has attended, how a faculty utilized pre-incubation facilities. So all these parameters may be taken into consideration while assessing the performance of the students and faculty and staff. Thank you very much for giving this chance. Now I request Professor M. Jaydev Garu, Indian Institute of Management in Bangalore. Sir, please give me suggestions to frame this LISP and any suggestions in this presentation.
I don't have anything to say. Quite elaborative. Now, how you think about the activities and how do you take up those things are more important. The policy is good,
Okay.
right? So, how to involve the students and how to involve the previous students, alumni, and encourage them to take up the environment entrepreneurship activities is more important.
Sure,
So
sure.
the policy is okay, fine, perfect. I don't have anything to say.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now I
Yeah.
request Sri B. Ramakrishna, Scientist G, Armored Design and Development Group, Defense Metallurgical Research Laboratory. Sir, please give me any suggestions regarding this.
Yeah, sure, definitely. Able to hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You are audible, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's a wonderful presentation. Actually, you included every aspect of the entrepreneurship development in an individual. And you spoke a lot about the incubation centers that needs to be started and what are the various, in what proportions actually the management and the students will be sharing their revenue model, all these models, etc. You worked on.
Yes, sir.
And it is good. And actually, you can start a competition. My suggestion is in the college who are in the final year students
Okay, sir.
to actually develop that sense of entrepreneurship. In the first semester itself, you ask them, you give a time period of 1 or 2 months and start coming up with new ideas, new startup ideas, and let them make presentations to the team. You ensure that everybody comes out with ideas so that people will start thinking, and definitely in the process of doing a lot of brainstorming, you will end up with 2 or 3 very good ideas which can be taken forward. Unless and until you actually actively pursue the students to take up this kind of mindset, new thoughts and new thought process and new startups will not be coming up. This is one of the ideas. And one more thing, in during the presentation, you said solar voltaic cells development, etc. That is going to be one of the major core area which you are planning to develop, right?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, along with that, I strongly suggest, as far as the mechanical engineering goes, being a mechanical engineer by profession and by experience and everything, now actually there are a lot many new areas that are coming up, like you would have known very well, you would have heard about it a lot. So my suggestion is you try to incorporate one 3D printing center also in the college.
What, sir? What, sir?
3D printing machine.
Okay, sir. 3D printing.
Yeah, because the
Definitely,
future,
sir.
and actually, if you can actually develop few 3D printed components, at least using plastics, if not metals, to start with, it's a very low cost machine only. It will not be very costly. Actually, you can cast different shapes of plastics, and actually you can make number of toys, and that it becomes a incubation center. That it becomes a startup.
Okay.
So in the process, people will be actually exposed to various CAD packages like SolidWorks, Pro, pro engineer, etc. Otherwise, generally, very reluctantly people learn this. Unless and until they see an application, the learning will not be complete. So my suggestion is, if you can go ahead by incorporating these kind of ideas, then only this particular idea of the startup sector will be really blossoming.
Okay, sir.
Actually, whatever you give, they are all very good. Along with whatever I suggest, if you can try to incorporate, that will be all the more good.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. And similarly, fault diagnosis. If somebody can work in fault diagnosis of mechanical systems,
Quant, what's that?
fault diagnosis of mechanical systems.
Diagnosis. Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah. So that is one area where actually there's a lot of this Internet of Things. And nowadays, if you see the cars, what are the latest cars are there, they're in a position to actually predict the failure even before it fails. What is happening is continuously the latest cars actually, they're actually, it is full of sensors. So depending on the engine sound, braking speed, and the braking oil, all these things are monitored using Internet of Things. Because IoT is one of the things which are actually trying to work on. So this is all happening through Internet of Things. So continuously, what is happening is there will be a data center which will be continuously capturing the data of the particular car regarding various parameters. What are all the parameters which they feel that it is monitorable, including tire pressure, everything they'll be monitoring. And continuously, a feedback will be given to the driver regarding if any fault that is going to come up. So this is one area which is going to have a lot of future. So combining this mechanical engineering knowledge with IoT, Internet of Things, it is definitely going to take
Sir,
people in a
sir,
longer way.
sir, your voice becomes low sometimes, sir.
Acha, okay. I'll try to speak louder.
And now it is okay, sir.
Now it's okay?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah. So what I mean to say, since Internet of Things and this total engineering monitoring, fault diagnosis is going hand in hand.
Definitely.
So my suggestion is try to give some projects to students in the final year, such that these two aspects are interconnected, and they'll try to explore. So thereby, this kind of exposure gives the students first either they can do a startup, otherwise from the college they'll be actually getting a good exposure and they'll be getting very good jobs outside. That is how actually the college also flourishes. Understood?
Okay.
You're able to follow me now?
Sir, definitely, sir. Definitely, we follow your suggestions. We incorporate all these in policy also, sir.
Which are all possible without much of investment. Whatever I am telling is, these are all the things not much of investment. It's only the brain which needs to be used. Once the integration takes place, so people will start enjoying it. So you can create a crankshaft with a crack, try to rotate it, and try to find the fault diagnosis.
Your voice
What are the
is again becomes low sometimes.
Again breaking up. So now, okay, that's fine. So these are the few aspects which I want to dwell on. And as we progresses, I'll be coming up with more and more ideas, and I'll be sharing more of my ideas with you. As of now, this is fine with me.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
For electronics also, you need to think more. Though I'm not an electronics engineer, I'll give you something in writing later through mail. Okay, what are all the things which you can implement?
Okay, sir.
With my experience.
Thank you, sir.
Definitely. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for giving your valuable suggestions. Definitely, we follow your suggestions. We add 3D printing and fault diagnostics areas in the various domains in that LISP. In addition to that, we follow your suggestions also. We incorporate your suggestions in this LISP also. Thank you, sir. And now I request alumni students, you please give us your suggestions, valuable suggestions. Mr. Dilip. Dilip, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Dilip
Hello,
is
can you hear me?
alumni student of this college. He has relieved in 2014. Am I correct, Dilip?
Yes, sir.
2014. You please give us feedback, suggestions.
Yeah. Sure, sir. So, hello everyone. First of all, I would be I would like to appreciate that such an initiative is being started in our college, and it's really happy to be collaborating with these many intellectual people and hearing few suggestions from great minds as well. So I was really impressed with the kind of presentation that has been put forward by the Lendi faculty. It covers all the key points that are required to potentially start such an innovation startup policy in a college. So having said that, a couple of points that I would like to put forward, probably. We did hear about different suggestions in different fields, and also considering that most of the new startups in our country are towards the software field, where little to no investment is required, other than the physical effort by the people who are designing good applications. And also, once the policy is in place, the key objective for the faculty, and also maybe potentially the alumni as well, is to promote this, to take it forward to the students. Once we build up this competitive attitude among the students, that they are going to get something in return for their thoughts, probably like one of the earlier like-minded professors has said, that we may have to think of yearly events wherein we'll ask the students, given a buffer time of probably 3 months, to come forward and pitch their ideas, which will be again reviewed by the alumni, faculty, and some industrial experts. And based on them, if we potentially take one or two to take it forward, and as a first steps, probably to identify one or two, and then try to see how they further unfold and be productive. So these are the things that I wanted to share. And really looking forward to contribute and collaborate with all the members in this panel going forward.
Thank you, Mr. Dilip. Definitely, we follow your suggestions. Now, I request another alumni student from CSC. Mr. Asha, are you there? Any other alumni students other than Dilip? Are there any parents of students in this meeting? Sri Malladi garu, are you there in the meeting? Maybe signal poor for one parent and other two alumni students. Any suggestions from faculty members? Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for attending this meeting. Especially, I thank Professor M. Jaydev Garu, Indian Institute of Management, Bengaluru, Sri B. Ramakrishnan Garu, Scientist G. Armored Design and Development Group, Defense and Metallurgical Research Laboratory. In this meeting, Sri M. Kalebu, Consultant MSME Technology Center, is not attended this meeting because of his busy schedule. He was unable to attend the meeting. Once again, I thank all the members of this LISP, alumni, parents, HODs, faculty members, and students. Thank you very much. Definitely, we incorporate your ideas in this LISP. After incorporating all these ideas in this LISP, our committee members will meet second meeting in the April 15th. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you all. Share.
Can I leave?
Okay, sir. The meeting is
Okay.
done.
Thank you. Thanks, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
స్టాప్ రికార్డింగ్ అన్న తర్వాత స్టాప్ రికార్డింగ్ కదా